Hello everybody, I'm Jimmy Fantastic and have some incredible news for you for Blood Bowl Tabletop. These are leaks from the new Spike 2024 Almanac. That's coming out next year. I don't know when, but apparently soonish this is coming out. And from the cover you can see the Spike there, and that is one of the star players. And they are the tree and the spite. So I can show you here Maple Highgrove. Now it's funny, right, because both of these stars weren't very good really in the previous edition, but oh my god, Maple Highgrove is incredible. First of all, 210 gold for this player, which is cheaper than Mighty Zug, right? Mighty Zug is 220. Now movement 3 is fine, okay, it's like a mummy, isn't it? It's not like Mighty Zug is movement 4, so it's a bit slower than Zug. But a mummy is fine, right? If you think of this is like a mummy star player, it's like a tree, right? But you know, it's a tree man. It's a young tree man. And but movement 3, so it doesn't have to roll to stand up, doesn't have take root or anything like that. No, nothing bad, no bonehead. Strength 5, Edge 5 plus, PA 5 plus. You're not going to dodge or pass with him. He's AV 11 plus, so that's nice, isn't it? Very tough, tougher than Zug, tougher than most stars, so really tough. Strength 5, strong enough. Its skills are really good. Brawler, so you get to reroll your both downs. That's already great anyway, right? Okay, you'd rather have block, of course you would. But this lets you get more powers and more pushes, which can be important. It's got grab. So you could, you know, that's like a great skill anyway, right, to have. You can do extra things with grab, especially when you think of the other uses for it. Because it's a big package, right? It's got Mighty Blow +1, fantastic. That's what you'd expect with Strength 5. You've got it, great. You've got Stand Firm, because it's like a tree. You've got Thick Skull, because it's like a tree. So it's you know, it's like a cross between a tree and a mummy, right? Like, it is a tree, obviously. It's a tree. Fluff-wise, it's definitely a tree. He's a young tree. But, like, when you consider all of the skills... And it's got tentacles as well, right? To represent, you know, it's got, like, vines and stuff. It's a bit like a treekin, I guess. It's kind of a, you know, not like a normal tree, right? Not a normal tree man. But, like, it's got so many skills. If you think of this as a mummy base, okay, it hasn't got regenerate. But it's got plus AV, it's got brawler, it's got grab, it's got stand firm, it's got tentacles. Like, it's got so many skills. And then its special rule on top is very strong. It's once per half, so it's not even once per game, it's once per half. When he declares a block, he may do so against an opposition player who is 2 squares away, following all the normal rules for making a block, though he may not follow up. It cannot be part of a blitz action. So this is incredible, right? He's got a ranged block. And it's got grab. Right? Like, and it's got Mighty Blow as well, you know, of course it does. But, like, that's so strong. And then when you think of the teams that he played for, if he played for Halfling Thimble Cup only, he wouldn't be that good, right? Halflings and gnomes, that would be a little bit unexciting. But... you know, playing for the elf teams is okay. That's like all 4 elf teams he plays for. But, which is fine, right? That helps with 1 turns, okay? It gives you like a really strong player who's got a lot of utility. And also it means that they really can't go near him because he'll take your cage apart, right? He can just block 2 squares away. He covers such a wide threat zone. He can blitz and then... he can get near the ball, and then you'd better move because he's gonna break your cage open. So he's actually great with elf teams to like generate pressure and stuff around the ball. But then he also plays for Old World Classic, which is dwarves, halflings, humans, nobility, ogres, Old World Alliance, and Norse. And now think about how good he is for Norse. He's got grab that can hit from 2 squares away. so if you know, you literally kind of, if a Norse team has this guy on offense, you can't even try to stop them scoring because he'll be leading the charge down one side, and if you stand even vaguely near him, he'll block you from 2 squares away, grab you over, and then something will surf you. Like, I just don't think it will be possible to defend against a Norse drive. If this guy will just take a side and you'll be like, oh, I actually just can't stand vaguely in your way. It'll just basically mean an automatic score for Norse. I think almost certainly it's crazy good. Now you only get one, but a guaranteed surf is good enough, right? And even then, even after that guaranteed surf, he's still like a strength 5 player with stand firm and grab. That alone is like ridiculous. He's so good. He does have loan of 4+. He's a star player. And then so for Norse, incredible for driving down the pitch. Same with Dwarves, right? Dwarves have got the Troll Slayer. He can do work for them as well. Also, he gives high strength to Dwarves, to humans, to nobility, to Norse. He's given that strength 5, so he's great in that regard. And then for elves, rather than having a tree man, you can have this guy or this guy in addition to a tree man if you're playing like in a league and you're down TV. And then for elves, you've got a crazy ball threat on defense because you can maybe chain him forward before he activates to do the ranged block. And also when you're trying to score your 1-turn defense, right? If you don't do that, if you don't get the stop on defense and they score on turn 8 or whatever, and you've got a 1-turn touchdown chance, this opens up so many things, right? He's got grab, he's probably got 3 dice, he's got brawler, so he's got a real good chance of getting the push with 3 dice plus brawler, and he grabs them, and he does it from 2 squares away. So you can do some interesting things with him for sure. That's going to be very, very, very interesting as far as 1-turn potential. So he's a very exciting star. Honestly, if he had block instead of brawler, he'd be an instant megastar. He almost is anyway, right? Like, he's got tentacles as well. So if you can get him on the ball, unbelievable. If you can get him within 2 squares of the ball, unbelievable. He's so good. And you can't block him away because he's got stand firm. Like, he's an absolute menace on defense. He's so good. He's a contender for best star. Genuinely, I think he'll be a megastar almost instantly. He's so good. And if not, he'll be underestimated like Hathark. Hathark wasn't banned at Euro Bowl, despite obviously being a megastar to me. So other people may assess it differently, but like, he's so good. He is bonkers. He is unbelievably good for multiple teams as well, and even just for the kind of bad teams, if you like, halflings and gnomes. He's still a strength 5 player for 210 that's got tentacles and mighty blow and stand firm and thick skull and grab and it's still doing stuff, right? Even if it's not as incredible it is for elves and Norse and stuff. He just makes stuff like Frankenstein, who's more expensive, look terrible. I think he even makes Zug look bad. I think he is so good, unbelievably good. So that's my assessment of Maple Highgrove. Now, the other star is Swiftvine Glimmershard, the Spite. Not a Sprite, it's a Spite. Very important. I don't know what the difference is. Now, this is a weird one. It plays for halflings and gnomes and all the elves. What's weird about it is it's 110, so it's not too expensive, but it's not too cheap either. Movement 7, really nice. Strength 2, what you'd expect. Ag 3+, PA 5+, AV 7+. So AV 7+ puts it in like halfling range, right? So it's a halfling with two movement ups, which already is like decent, right? That's like already for 110. That's not too bad. It's got Loner, obviously it's a star player. It's got Disturbing Presence, okay, not very relevant. Fend, not very relevant. Sidestep, okay. Sidestep and Fend as a combination is pretty okay. It's got Stunty, as you would expect. It does not have dodge. The killer is it not having dodge, or she actually. She doesn't have dodge. That is a killer. And does have stab. So stab is quite nice. So, but the losing dodge, it really makes it bad. That makes it a bad star player. If it had dodge instead of a Disturbing Presence, it'd be really quite good. But without that, it just looks a bit naff. But the special rule is incredible. Now, it says once per half, so long as she is standing at the start of her activation. Now, it says is standing. There's already been a bit of controversy about this in one of the Discords I was in, asking, can you just move 7 squares and then use this ability? So I think the fact that it is standing rather than was standing at the start of her activation, that implies that you do this as you're activating her, which would mean you know, it's if you could move first, it would be crazy, right? Can place herself adjacent to a standing opposition player within 3 squares of her and immediately make a stab special action against them. Now, does that mean 3 squares away from her and adjacent to somebody who's maybe 4 squares away? Or does it mean adjacent to somebody 3 squares, so she maybe goes 4 squares? It's hard to know. I think it needs FAQing instantly in terms of, do you have to do it as you activate, which I think, is the only thing that makes sense, right? Rules as intended. Surely they've intended that. But that's a bit weird. I think she can only go 3. But then, and immediately make a stab special action against them. She may then place herself in an occupied square within 3 squares of a new position. So that also kind of implies that it's like go 3, stab, go 3 away. And then her activation then immediately ends. This counts as the team's blitz action for the turn. So what this means is, if she has the ball and your opponent has an incredible screen, she can just teleport, stab somebody, and then teleport into the end zone. Incredible, right? That is an incredible use. Also, you can they can't put the ball within 3 squares of her, or maybe 4 squares of her, because she'll teleport 3 squares, stab them, teleport 3 squares away, right? And if you've got an elf team, that can just pop the ball loose, right? Like if it's somebody AV 8+, you're looking at 15 out of 36 to just knock the ball over, and if you've got wood elves or whatever, good night. But for the other 14 turns, bit rubbish, right? Adds 3+, strength 2, AV 7+, no dodge is an absolute killer. Having stunty isn't that good when you don't have dodge and you have loner. So it's weird, right? It's such an unbelievably good ability. Like if this is what Jeremiah Cool had, right, for the flashing blade, that would be just ridiculously good. It's not so good on her, the teleporting, honestly. But there'll be times when you can use it, right? It's just too easy. It's hard to use. It's a really hard to use player. I think for 14 turns, it's not going to be very good. But for 2 turns, it can be very strong. I think that will take a bit more time and testing to see how good it is, and it'll be a lot more situational. I guess people won't take it because it's so situational, right? But sometimes it will be game-breaking, completely ridiculous sometimes. But I think it hasn't got the consistency. If it had dodge, I'd take it. I'm not going to take it without dodge, personally. But Maple Highgrove is just unbelievable. I mean, absolutely top tier. This is going to be everywhere, I think. It's so good. And well, there you go. That is the video. Just went straight into the rules. Didn't bother with the lore and stuff. The lore is they're star players. It just is what it is. Like, there's not a lot of lore in here. It's just like an introductory paragraph kind of thing. All the lore's on the other page. The people haven't leaked the lore. I'm not privy to any special, early access or anything, or none of that stuff. So I'm just bringing what I hear through the grapevine to you guys. But yeah, very excited about Maple Highgrove. Hopefully we'll see it on Blood Bowl 3 as well, because that is a monster player. So yeah, there you go. Right, great, and I'll bring more news when I hear it. Hopefully Hubris Rakarth, not Hubris Rakarth, he's the old one. Jeremiah Cool and somebody else, Guffle Pussmore, isn't it? Hopefully those rules will come out. And I mean, there was talk of Guffle Pussmore not being strength 4. Well, looking at how good these two were, I think Guffle Pussmore will definitely be strength 4, and he might be really good as well. Right, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and stay fantastic.